Good morning, everyone. This is Nosheen Mukhtar, and you're watching the Business Show. Today, I have invited my wonderful friend Natalia Wigner with me, and we are going to talk about your challenges. So, the first thing first, you need to introduce yourself in the comments and let me know where you're joining me from. And you have to share with me your challenges that you face when you're working remotely with your team. So let me give a brief introduction about Natalia. As we go on, she will tell us more about herself and also about Gravity. So Natalia is a dedicated person who helps companies manage virtual teams. She helps them have a new level of understanding, collaboration, and performance about team management. She also helps companies achieve their organizational goals in a very smart way. She has been working on different systems. She has been working on very big corporates so far and has achieved multiple level of achievement through her work. She is the founder of Gravity, and today she's going to tell us more about herself now and about Gravity. So Natalia, when it comes to Graviteens, we want to know when did you establish it, what was the idea, and what does the word Graviteen represent?
Right. So, thank you, Nasheen, for hosting the show, and it's my great pleasure and honor to be on the show with you guys and to be able to introduce my company and my brand Graviteens to you. Okay. So originally, I come from the corporate.
Okay, we will get Natalia back in 1 minute. There is some technical issue. So just give me a second and let's see. Yes, Natalia, you were talking about Graviteen. Okay, while we are waiting for Natalia to get back, you can introduce yourself in the comment section and let me know about yourself, where you're watching me from, what do you do, what's your passion, how you were managing yourself when you were working remotely. Are you still working remotely? And how does it impact you? I would love to know more about your experience in remote working and how things have been managed, well managed or badly managed by your team managers. Do share your views in the comments and let's get the discussion rolling. Welcome, Shah Mohammed Idris. It's very nice to have you with me today. I will take a few seconds and get back to you. Hi, Natalia. Yes, you were talking about Gravity.
Yes, I was talking about Graviteens. Actually, the very beginning of the story. So it was consulting, and consulting is meant to deliver value to organizations, but especially in large consultancies where it's institutionalized, you do work and it does not reach the value. It does not reach the point where it is transferred into the value for the company. So after being a consultant, I switched sides and I was on the corporate side. I was a project manager for a large organization in Germany, and I was hiring consultants to do the work. So I also saw the challenges that every organization can have when working with consultants. And from all that experience, I went on to start my own consulting firm to deliver value to the organizations that they can actually experience. So deliver solutions and deliver services that organizations can transform into additional value that would help them actually work better, achieve better results, have better teams in their organizations and not only on paper. So this was the idea behind my consultancy. Gravy Teams is a consulting that helps organizations work better together in the digital world. So Gravy Teams, the word Gravy Teams means gravity in remote teams, or gravity in any teams that work together. As in the modern world, especially since the start of the pandemic, we work from anywhere and we connect not only personally from the office, but we connect with using the technology. It is very important that we keep the human connection, because technology is only the enabler, and organizations, companies, teams work as well together as the people behind the computer screens are able to work together. So this is to how Gravy Teams.
Yes, thank you so much for the introduction, Natalia. And I'm very happy to know about Gravy Teams, and I'm sure this was the right time for you to launch it. Now, one question: how did you feel when you were transitioning from being a consultant to having your own business, your own company? What were you feeling? What were you going through? Did you experience any fears when you were doing this? So, did you receive any support from the family? Share your experience about entrepreneurship.
Of course. So it's always, like it's when I was thinking about this step for a long time, but somehow, like you just don't do it. So you think, okay, I will do it tomorrow. I will do it one day. And I was talking to people who were entrepreneurs. My father is an entrepreneur. My cousin is an entrepreneur. And I was having this, like comfortable, nice, prestigious job in a good company. I was a very good position, but something was going on there. And I was talking to people, and people were saying, okay, then it's not your time. When the time comes to jump, you will know it. And I guess I just knew it. So that's why I started. And I started working with partners, with partnerships, with people that we were pulling sources and pulling ideas together. And for me, this is why I put my emphasis on working in teams, because I believe that no great things are ever achieved alone. It is always a team. And exactly, so that's how I started. And I was working with collaboration partners, amazing people, partners that we shared ideas, we're learning from each other, developing on that. And last year, when I moved to live in the UAE, in Dubai, with my family, that was the time to launch the own brand. So Gravy Teams started last year here in Dubai. And
during the COVID?
It started during COVID, yes. So during the COVID, it was because, as I'm saying, I was working already in that area. So when the pandemic has started, many organizations, many teams, I'm working with many also networking organizations. They were having challenges to put everything online or to continue working while not being able to meet physically. And the stress, the uncertainty last year was quite high. So I was in a position with my experience to help out a little bit, like to give the tips that were needed on the first days. And so that this initial transition would be successful or would be managed. The thing is that now we are about 1 year almost to the day, then the pandemic has started in Dubai. And we still see that this virtual collaboration is more important than in any other time. And we also see that what we have not seen last year. Last year, everyone was doing kind of firefighting, so decreasing the operations, staying low, trying to get through this stressful period, and then the stressful period would only take, like a few weeks, and then it took a few months, and now it has taken a year. And we realize more and more that we are not going back to that kind of normal, like that was before the pandemic. Not only because the virus is taking so long, but because we are learning so much and we are discovering new ways how to collaborate, to work together, and to be successful.
Yes, true. Now is the time, Natalia, for all managers, for all leadership in organizations to understand how they can make teams more well connected. Even if they are working from different destinations, how they can make them work together and work better. So this is what we are going to continue to talk about. But before this, I will introduce a few of our friends to Natalia who are already here. Rahul Sharma is joining us from India. He's the department manager at Trent Limited. We have Mr. Khalil Shatara. Please, if I say your name incorrectly, you can always correct me. And he is the founder of First Specialized E-commerce Cataloging Company. Wow, we want to know more about your company, so share in comments. We have Muhammad Abu Saeed from Bangladesh. We have Chaudhry Riyad Nigar from Trust Wealth Management, which is interesting. And we also have Dr. Salim Ahmed from Delhi, India. And he has shared his WhatsApp number as well. So moving on, I want to share with you guys that Natalia is going to be with us in Business Excellence Summit. We have been planning on hosting the summit on 7th March 2021, but there is a little bit of chance for us to moving the date once again, keeping in view the present conditions and different restrictions at the moment. However, we welcome Natalia to the stage at Business Excellence Summit, and we believe we are going to learn a lot of things from her. And obviously, she has a lot of stories for us to know. So, what was the most interesting thing that you have experienced during your launch of Gravity?
Most interesting thing, there were so many interesting things that I'm having difficulty to choose the one most interesting. Obviously, it's the learning experiences, and it's the learning experience from the challenges of the clients, of the organizations that I work with, where they are, right? So what we see is that my idea was to help the teams work better together. But the challenge that we see behind that, not every team is starting at the same level, and not every person in the team is starting from the same level, right? So it's for the team to bring the team to outstanding performance. There is like 3 dimensions. So one of the dimensions is obviously the leadership, and I'm sure we will come a little bit more to that because that would be the core topic. Because a leader is the one who drives this team, who drives this organization, who unites people in the team around the goal, the center of the gravity that we would be evolving around. On the one hand side. On the other hand side, the challenges that I have realized is that people are starting from very different positions. So you're having people who are not that familiar with many technologies. There are also people who, from older generations, that are not used, like a young generation, they are the digital natives, so they are very easy and very quick with any type of technology. It takes time for some other people to adapt. So you also would like to bring the people kind of like on the level that the digital leader can actually unite the team, right? And the greatest challenge, if I have to pick one, the greatest challenge with working remotely is the perception of the people of the challenges. So they think, okay, if we have a video collaboration tool, we are ready to go. And it is not the case, because there's video collaboration is, for many people who are new to that, obviously we have practiced a lot, but it's it's kind of like a limited version of interaction that we used to be having. So we are kind of tuning into this visual setting and leaving out most of our, environment, most of our what's on our table, most of our what's in our mind. We're just concentrating on the face behind the screen, and it is not only the face; it's the entire person and it's the entire organization. So the understanding that there is so much potential that we can improve our virtual collaboration beyond the video conferencing tools. This is, I think, one of the major challenges on the one hand side, but also a potential for work.
Yes, true. So when it comes to digital leadership, like you said, that there are different challenges, and definitely there are many challenges because not all members on teams are starting from the same level, and not all members are technology pro. Not all members are comfortable in using virtual setups and different software. So when it comes to digital leadership, how do you define as the founder of Gravy Teams? And what are different ways in which digital leadership can help teams? We will come to the help part much later, but I would like to know more about your version of digital leadership and what a digital leader can do for his people.
Right. So what is digital leadership? Digital leadership is obviously leadership in the digital world as we know it right now, right? And I would like to emphasize and to stress out again that it's not digital, it's not about the technology. Digital is about the world. And this world was changing even before the pandemic. But during this pandemic, we have experienced a huge jump in the way we use technology and the way we rely on technology for our work. And it is not only that we cannot see people, but it's only the way we communicate, right? So we send a lot more information than we used to be sending, and we're using a lot more different channels. So it's not only the phone, it's not only the email, it's WhatsApp, it's Slack, it's Trello, it's social media messaging, it's everywhere. And on one hand side, on the other hand side, we expect information to come quicker. And it's putting, so especially this aspect of communication is very important to leadership because we can learn and we have to learn so much from it. But digital leadership is about, actually, it's about business, and it's about adapting the business models or finding the business models and achieving the business results within the world as it is. So more technologically enhanced, less reliant on people being in the office, less relying on the infrastructure, technical infrastructure being in the office, and less relying on the face-to-face communication, but embracing the potential of technology.
Do you think that this digital leadership is a result of new levels of literacy? Like, the teams are expected to be more literate in terms of managing themselves remotely, managing technology better, using more gadgets, having more screen time, having multiple ways of communication while they are online and while they are working and performing and are being managed by their leaders.
So it's definitely not about using more gadgets or using more tools. It's definitely not about it. It's about having a cohesive team, right? So it's about having this business objective in front of you and uniting the team behind the business objective. And obviously, upskilling the team, the individuals in the team to be able to cope with these new challenges. But it is more about finding the level that would fit your team, that would fit your business objective, and that would help people together to achieve that business objective. And usually it's not that many tools. Usually the less is more in this sense.
Okay, all right, all right. Okay, I want to know a little bit more about what challenges have been reported to you during your experiences with the Gravit team and working with people during COVID? What are different issues that remote teams are facing?
So the challenges, there are many challenges that remote teams are facing, even if they, you know, have their usual time. So one of the challenges is the meetings, right? So if you want to be working in a team, you um, you want to collaborate with a team. But this meeting time for many organizations is viewed as a waste of time, or just time that is used not productively, not efficiently. And before the pandemic, there were, in the corporate world, there were so many meetings. But moving online, the initial weeks were okay because people were saying, okay, I have, like enough time that I can actually go deeply into my work and I can work on that. But as soon
Right.
as I realized how easy it is to set up a meeting and to invite people to a meeting in just a click of a mouse, the number of meetings have just exploded. So this is the perception of people, that I have so much screen time and I'm sitting in front of the Zoom and I'm having the Zoom fatigue and I'm not getting any productive time for my work. So this meeting culture, have effective and impactful time together with other people, this is a great challenge, and again, a great potential to improve on that. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. So, honestly speaking, Natalia, getting together digitally is more time effective. I feel it's very efficient. And during these times when we were working with our remote teams, I felt that the communication was not hampered. I could save a lot of time for being more productive because I could have shorter meetings, and even the individual meetings are more intimate because we were talking, screen sharing, sharing information, and drafting the reports more quickly than before. So I felt that this was very efficient. The only problem that people faced, let me say managers face, was to have had more frequent communication across broader team spectrum. What do you have to say about it?
Yes, I can absolutely relate to that. And for me, like as an
Okay. Okay, there is some streaming issue, and I'm waiting for Natalia to get back. In the meantime, I will share some of the comments here. Dr. Salim Ahmed says digital leadership in a nutshell is what you both are providing now at this time. Yes, I agree, Dr. Salim. Yes, we are sharing our experiences and sharing knowledge so that people can understand how they can be better leaders in a digital world. Yes, so it is like that. You empower people, share your experiences, share knowledge, add value to what they already know digitally through digital communication and digital leadership. So, yes, this is a good point made by you, and thank you so much for sharing the insight. How you are performing as a digital leader in your own area. You can share your experience in comments here, and I will definitely share it live with my friends who are watching us right now. Mr. Abdul Aziz Khan wants to settle down in business. Mr. Abdul Aziz, what kind of business you want to launch? Please share your views with us while we are waiting for Natalia to get back to us. Hello, Saad. It's good to see you here. You can work on my YouTube if you want. Good to know that you are a YouTube expert and you can share your experience of managing YouTube with us live. Okay, let me look at some more comments and wait for Natalia till she gets back to us. Thank you. Yes, Natalia, now we got you. Hello. Yes.
I was kind of watching the entire time, so I really don't know what's going on. But the main thing that I'm back. Okay. So I would love to go back to your question. I watched the comments, so I was silently present, if I may say.
We were talking about different challenges that leaders face when they are managing larger team spectrum digitally.
Exactly. So what I wanted, like we were pointing out that your communication actually got more efficient. So did mine. I think you flipped to the side. So did mine. But that, okay, I hope Nushin is coming back, but I can continue on the question that Nushin has posed. If you guys want to do some,
yes, continue.
How many of you are from large organizations and how many from you are entrepreneurs? So we kind of get a feeling of that. Because that's, like the thing that Nushin has pointed out, it's a big difference between the entrepreneurial world and the large organizations world. So in the entrepreneurial world, we all know, why we are going to a meeting. We all know what we want to achieve with that meeting. And we are also very happy that we can do these meetings virtually because we don't waste the time for commute, we don't waste the time for waiting, or if we are having time for waiting, we can just do other things. In the corporate world, you usually have many meetings that are planned, right? So you have a status meeting once a week that you have 15, 20 people who would be presenting their status one by one. So one person would be presenting and it would be, just waiting or participating in different meetings, whatever. And this is where the time is going on. So it's not the actual meetings where you getting stuff done, which is perceived as a waste of time, but meetings that you actually don't want to have. And in organization, it comes from the leadership. So this is the culture that we work together to become more flexible and to become more open to feedback. So the meetings and the internal communications can become more efficient. But now going back to this challenge that you are seeing, that you are having like more teams, different stakeholders, because we are having, this different businesses or many more businesses. We are working, because we are saving time, while we are more efficient. And this is also the advantage of this digital work. Actually, if you want to make it more efficient, you can really get up to speed. You speak more that, this is also something that we touch in a digital leadership. You speak, you want to deliver your message in a more concise and more clear way, so that you don't have the repetitions, you don't have, less of the misunderstanding, less of the asking back. And it works amazingly, really well in the digital world. And that's what we are experiencing. And how to work with different teams, different demands, different stakeholders. Obviously, it's the same as always, to understand the person, to understand
I believe there is a little bit of technical issue here because we've lost Natalia's voice, but she's right in saying that it's important for managers to understand the person they are communicating with, and if they have larger teams, it's important for each manager to understand perhaps every person in the team. That's the whole purpose of teamwork. If you do not know your team members, how will you be able to perform together? On a second note, yes, communication is of crucial importance. If communication flow is slow and hampered, and there is less clarity, it's going to be difficult for the leaders to manage their team performance, because if the team members are not understanding what is being communicated to them clearly, and they have not received the messages that have to come from the leadership in emphatic and clear way, they might not be able to meet the expectations of their managers and their leaders, and this might lead to problems related to performance. I'm going to ask her more about team performance as soon as she gets back to us. I'm just waiting for her to re-enter into the stream so that we can hear her with clarity. Let me send her a text. In the meantime, feel free to share your experiences in the comments. I'm still waiting for your input. It will be great to hear more from you. I'm sure you have more stories for us to know. Yes, okay. It's very good to have you commenting and asking questions. I would like you to continue asking questions from Natalia, and also continue sharing your own experiences as digital teams, as remote workers, how well you got along with your managers during the COVID-19 period when work stress was different and you were expected to perform in a different way, which was not your usual way of performing. So hearing your stories it's going to be a good experience for all of us, and I'm waiting for you to share in comments. And I'm also waiting for Natalia to get back to us. I'm still waiting for Natalia to come up. As soon as she comes, I will get back to you. Just give us a moment. All right. Omar Nabi says digital leadership is useful in this era. Yes, Omar, I agree with you 100%. It is very useful for all of us, and we all need it. Like, well-trained digital leaders can manage teams very efficiently. Welcome back, Natalia. It's good to have you with me.
Am I back? Because I already started logging on my phone.
No, you're back. You're back. All right. So, in what ways can we enhance team performance through digital leadership?
I think that the only way to enhance team performance, like the meta way. Obviously, there are things that you can do on the daily basis, so you can plan and implement them through a period of time. And obviously, myself and my business partners, my team, we can definitely assist you guys in it. But the biggest challenge is in the mindset that when working remotely or when working digitally or when working independently of the physical location that I love to put it, you don't see people work, right? So you trust people that you're doing their best, and people will only do their best if they are engaged, if they are motivated, if they are on the same page, if they believe in what you guys are doing. And that goes back to the leadership, right? So the leadership is the first cornerstone. I mean, if you want to control people, obviously there are tools, and sometimes I do get questions. How can I, control performance? Of course, you control performance. I don't like the word control, but you can track performance, and obviously it is important to know where you're standing but it's not about, you know, like monitoring whether people were sitting in front of the screen, because actually when they were sitting in the office in front of the screen, we still cannot make sure they are working. But when they are working from anywhere, there's no point in monitoring people sitting in front of the screen. And especially with the intellectual mental knowledge work that we are talking here about right now, it's not the only way to motivate people to not.
Right. So I strongly believe what Natalia is saying is that teams need to have a stronger reliance on the value of integrity, so that they can work with honesty and do their due diligence, and continue performing on the same level even when they are working remotely. I totally agree with her, and she's absolutely right about how leaders should be focusing on the value system and the best practices when they are managing their digital teams, because even remote teams need to continue working on the same value system and continue performing according to the guidelines provided to them, so that the team performance does not get affected. I'm again waiting for Natalia to return back to me. Natalia has received a connection request from Dr. Salim Ahmed to connect on LinkedIn and discuss few points with her, which is very good. Feel free to connect with Natalia on her LinkedIn as Natalia Widmer, and you will be able to communicate with her in multiple ways and know more about digital leadership very easily. In less than a second, I'm getting Natalia back. She is going to discuss team performance with us in further details. Here we go. Yes, Natalia, we got you.
You got me. Let me just put my tripod so I can. I'm connecting now from the.
Sure. All right.
From my mobile.
So it's not just about having a good platform, like Dr. Salim Ahmed said. It's more about managing communication, about managing people, about keeping people motivated and willing to work. That adds to the digital leadership. I have a very good point made by Faiza. I'm going to discuss it with Natalia as soon as she's ready. We're just giving her a little bit of time to get settled. Tech can be different sometimes and might refuse to cooperate with us, and that's what's happening. But that's okay. We are open to fixing things quickly. Thank you, Saeed Ahmed, and Walaikum Salam. It's very good to have you with us. The guest speaker is Natalia Widmer, and she is discussing with us how we can manage remote teams very well and how digital leadership can help us manage our work responsibilities efficiently. All right. So we are waiting for a few minutes for Natalia to settle down, and we'll certainly start talking about it. Okay. Ready, Natalia?
Absolutely. So now I'm connected on two devices. Let me just disconnect one device.
Yeah, that's good.
And hope that the other device will work. All right.
It's okay. You can use either. Yes.
Exactly.
Cool. We're fine. Yes. Okay, we have 2 points. The first one is, yes, we should be ready to take up challenges. Like sometimes during our streaming, we can have challenge like we had just now. So if we are relying on multiple resources, we can fix the challenges. And I think this is digital leadership. If you're ready, if you have your resources ready, you can overcome any challenge. And same goes for the team. Your team is learning from you. What you exhibit in terms of performance to your team is an example for the team to follow. And that's where digital leadership matters a lot.
Absolutely. And as you see, no matter how much you test this technology, no matter how much you try this technology to work, there are risks all the time and everywhere. And it is up to us how to take it, And this is not only, like the flexibility, but it's also the trust and in the team, and not, like giving into irritation. So obviously it's not perfect that we are having these glitches right now, but we have gone through wars with machine, and we are happy that it works right now, and we can deliver the session to you. And many of you were facing technological challenges somewhere else, and we all see that it's not stopping us from working together, from achieving our goals, from having our goals. And through challenges, that's where the vulnerability, the resilience, and the trust come, and that's how they grow. So, like if everything would be working perfectly, we would be just relying on something that comes from above and works perfectly.
Exactly.
But now you know that
I get a little bit of adrenaline kick when things are different and we need to manage them again and again. So that's my way, but that's okay, perfectly all right. Okay, we have a very good point made here by Faiza. She says, I believe digital policy is extremely crucial, so things are clearly communicated to the workforce. Yes.
Yes,
clear
absolutely.
Communication to workforce.
Absolutely. I would not call them workforce. I would call them the team. But absolutely. And, like the best way, obviously, the clear policy, the clear rules, how you guys work together are very, very important. But for even better engagement and for even better collaboration in your team, it's so important to involve people, to give them ownership of how they want to work, to let them participate in creating that set of rules. Like we don't like to be told what to do, especially if we are experts in whatever we do. Right? So if you are hired as a digital marketing expert for an organization, you don't want to be told exactly and what to do and how to deliver, because you have your structures, you have your way of working, and you know what works better within your role. So clear roles and clear rules of collaboration are so important, and a lot more important in the virtual teams than in on-site teams, because on the on-site teams you can kind of smooth the edges, and in the virtual teams we have a lot more time for our own, like head moving, I would say. So everything that we misunderstood or were not clear about, we will make on our own. So it's so important to engage people into setting goals, into defining rules, into crafting the roles that they are supposed to be taking in that organization. So thank you so much for that question.
Yes, she has used the word digital policy. So, Natalia, do you believe that every organization now needs to set up digital policy, the rules of the game for its teams and its leadership?
Yes, I mean, of course. I mean, we don't have, like it's as in the agile world, you say it's a relationship before policies, right? So it's important that people are aligned in how they want to work. Because if you put a lot of effort in a 30-page document that has to be signed off by every department, but no one ever is gonna read it and no one ever is gonna know what is there, it's good to have the policy, but it's a lot more important to have that policy in the mentality of people. So to have the culture rather than the policy.
Right. True. Okay, we have one more comment from Mr. Bilal Ahmad. He says, should schools adopt digital change? I think they have adopted digital change and add it into their curriculum.
And added to the curriculum, school adopt digital change. What do you mean by adopting digital change? Teaching the kids to be flexible, or teaching the kids to, I mean, digital change is many skills, right? So it's critical thinking, it's ability, it's open mindset, is ability to learn by inquiring, it's imagination, it's creativity. So I'm absolutely glad that all these skills would be introduced in schools and would be taught to children, because many studies show that, I mean, not even need any studies, just imagine that many of the jobs that we are doing today are not going to be around in 10 years' time. So kids who are going to school right now and will enter the workforce within 10 years, there will be different skill sets, different professions, different jobs that they will enter. So obviously it's important for them that they can find their role and find their way to deliver added value to the society.
Yes, and schools have adopted, because schools are more hybrid now. If there are 2 days inside the premises, 3 days are remote, and children are learning digitally. Curriculums have adapted this mode, and teachers have designed already systems that they are implementing to teach students. So, Bilal, yes, you're right, and yes, we agree. The change has been there. It's almost a year now. So schools are well ahead of it, well ahead of adaptation, and their policies have transformed accordingly. And it's not just the schools; almost every organization has revised and reviewed the policies and have set up systems to ensure that getting together digitally is more easy. The challenge is staying together consistently and having a level of resilience that does not let you experience unnecessary stress. And that's where getting together digitally comes in. And Natalia will tell us more a little bit about this.
Sure, I would love to tell more. So we are talking, of course, schools have adopted. Many schools. I would never say, like schools have adopted, because many schools have adopted. And especially we are so fortunate in this part of the world, in the UAE, schools have adopted. We have, like very different system. The school system is here mostly private. So there is a more flexibility in that system than in many of the more traditional or many of the governmentally defined systems in other parts of the world. And, we have started in the UAE, we have started from already a very high level of flexibility, change adaptation, and digitalization within schools, right? So this is something that we have in school. And many teachers, at least teachers of my children, I have 2 children in this school system, they were really quick to adapt. They showed great leadership to engage those children remotely. Elementary school age, which is, not, there are advantages, disadvantages, because children, they do that what the teachers say. So in organizations, it's a little bit different because you have to engage people. Children have their parents, and parents tell them you have to do what the teacher tells you. In the adult world, we have a little bit more flexible. That's what's a little bit different.
Yes.
But another thing, it's a little bit easier to adapt with the children because they are so young. They are so they learn so easily this new technology, the new ways of working, and they don't have, like we do rely on our experience, and it is our strength. But at the times of such a rapid change, we just have to understand and to embrace this experience as we have it, as a starting point, but be open for new experiences. And I think this is something that where we can learn from how the school system is.
Yes, true. Absolutely agree with you. Thank you so much, Natalia, for today. We really enjoyed the conversation with you. Thank you, everybody, for being with us and contributing into the session through your input and your wonderful comments. Tomorrow we will have another session tomorrow is Tuesday, IES Fleming, and we are going to talk about something more interesting as well. So if you would like to watch us live again, tomorrow at 11 is again Noshin Mukhtar with another friend. Thank you, Natalia. Have a good day.
Thank you so much, Noshin. Have a good day, everyone. Thank you for being there. Have a good day.
Bye.
Bye-bye.